So I've got a Field cast iron number 9 griddle, and I'm going to try a few of my favorite things. Hi, I'm Jed. This is Cook Culture. So we sell Field cast iron cookware, and we love Field cast iron cookware. It's one of our leading brands. We sell a lot of it. We sell the entire line of Field, and every piece that we have gets tremendous reviews. So when Field came out with a griddle, this is their new number 9 griddle, I was really excited. We just got stock into the stores, so now we have it for sale, but I got one early. So this one is a new one out of a box, and this is mine. So I've been using this now for 3 months, and I've got to tell you, I love it. So this video is a little bit of an infomercial about this pan, because I'm not going to try to figure out in this video if I like it or not. I've been using it for 3 months. I love it, and I'm going to tell you why. So in this video, I'm gonna make 3 things. I'm gonna make 3 different, I guess, regional or ethnic type foods that I would make, and I do make in these all the time. I'm gonna make a Canadian Flapjack. I'm going to make a French, or in this case, a Swiss crepe. And I'm going to make a tortilla to make a bean burrito. And so for the pancake, that's for me. I'm gonna try that, see how it works using the griddle pan. I am going to bring in a Swiss lady to try the crepe to see how well I can do using this pan. And then I'm going to bring in a friend from Mexico to see if I can make a burrito like his grandma used to make for him. All of the recipes that I'm making today are all what I would call vegan. They're not vegan per se. I don't cook in a vegan style. I cook a plant-based lifestyle. I'm a plant-based eater, so everything that I will make is plant-based. It can be in some ways a little more challenging, so even a little more difficult, because you gotta figure things out if you wanna make them a traditional type food in a certain way, like a crepe batter, or a pancake, or a roux that I'll be making today. So, today, those are the things that I'm making. If anybody's interested in the recipes, I put them down below the video, but it really, I don't think is gonna change the outcome. I don't think it's gonna be of any sort of a benefit to the testing that I'm trying to do today. I'm showing you why I love the crepe pan and why I feel it works so well. And I'm using things that are a little more fibrous and with a little bit less oil in them. There's not as much fat, so they can be even a little more problematic if you're trying to make them non-stick. So just wanted to let you know that before we get going. And here we go, making the pancake. Okay, so we're gonna make our Canadian style pancake. So I've got my pancake batter. We'll make it nice and big. I love big pancakes. So we're gonna let that cook for a few minutes on the one side. We'll flip it over, cook on the other side, and we'll see how it releases off of this fantastic griddle pan. Okay, so that is a flax and spelt flour pancake. This is number 3 Canadian maple syrup, an absolute staple in my house. Number 3 is really important. It means that it's really dark. You have 1, 2, 3. You usually think number 1 would be the best. Actually, number 3 is the best, I think, because it's the darkest. So that came off of that pan beautifully well. A little bit of maple syrup on my spelt pancake, and it's fantastic. Spelt is really nutty, tons of flavor. I love it. It gets really absorbent, so the maple syrup all soaks right to it. And the Field skillet makes it a perfect pancake. Great release, nice big size, really easy to get in around to pick up a large pancake. I love making big pancakes. Super great. So I've made, as I said before, a lot of pancakes in this pan already. So I'm very, very comfortable with it. But even the first time I made pancakes with it, it just worked incredibly well. So pancakes, Canadian style pancakes are a win. Okay, so I've got the Field number 9 skillet. I'm going to make crepes. And on the crepes, I've got a roux with some mushrooms and onions in some thyme with olive oil. So that will be the inside when I roll up the crepe. So we're gonna move on to making the crepe. I've got my crepe batter here. This is a really simple crepe batter, as I was saying before. This is a, for lack of a better word, it's a vegan crepe batter. It just doesn't have egg and butter and milk in it. So it's done with cashew cream and flour and salt, and that's all that I have in it. I find it makes a really great crepe. I've made 1,001 crepes in my life, more than that. I used to follow a very, very traditional recipe of, with butter and milk, or some people use a light cream and egg, and I've just found that I don't need to. I do it this way. It's super simple to make. I don't have to make it rest very long, and it makes a great crepe. So here we go, make some crepe, and I'm gonna fill them with my roux, and that is a cashew-based roux. It's not a milk-based roux, and the mushrooms and onions and thyme. And so that's what I'm gonna make, and I've got a special guest who's gonna come and tell me how it tastes. Right, so a crepe pan needs to be hotter than I usually make a crepe pan or a pan. This guy is at a 7. You want to have a hot pan for making crepe. Some people use tools to get all around the crepe. They'll use a spreader of some sort. I've always done it by hand, so I roll my pan just like I did there. And hot is the key. You want it to cook pretty quickly. So as things start to dry all the way through, you can make your way around it. And you just lift the edges ever so slightly. You want to start doing this when it's still quite fragile, because it'll be cooking through fairly quickly. It'll harden before it burns. And over you go. So that browning that you have there is about what you want. That works about just right. And then you can cook it through from the other side. Okay, so I've given it not a lot of time, but it's still quite rubbery. So we want it to cook, and because it doesn't have any egg in it, it needs even more time to cook, to hold together. The egg will really help bind. But like I said before, you don't have to have it. Okay, so there we go. There's the crepe. That one's cooked. We're gonna take some of our mixture, layer it down the center, and then I'm gonna just roll that up like so. And now we're gonna get somebody to taste this up. Okay, so this is Marie. Marie is the manager of our downtown Vancouver location, and Marie is from Switzerland.
Right.
Yeah, so I thought, why not have a Swiss lady try my crepe and see, does it compare? She knows what it's made of, so she knows it doesn't have butter and egg and milk, so she's setting her expectations, I think. And she also knows that the roux is also a plant-based roux. But what we're really trying to do, to ask her, does the texture of the crepe from the Field Griddle Pan give her that sensation of what a crepe should feel like, to the texture? So, be my guest.
Let's do it. Pretty good texture.
Yeah?
Really good.
Yeah?
Well cooked, yeah. Yeah, no, seriously,
okay.
yeah.
So that's passing? What would you say? Well, out of a 1 to 10, what would you give it?
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, all right. She's got very high expectations, I already knew that, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
Pretty good.
So I was really impressed with this pan right out of the gate. When I started using it out of the box, it comes pre-seasoned. I made crepes are the first things I made. I didn't do anything else to it from the seasoning. I used some grapeseed oil and it did a great job. So I was really confident doing this. I've made a lot of crepes so far with this guy. So I was really confident this was gonna do a good job. I was really interested in know what you thought of it. So that's great. So we got an 8 out of 10 from Marie, thank you. Okay, so I have just rolled out my tortilla shell and we're gonna get this onto the Field Griddle, and then I'm gonna have a special guest who's gonna come and test out a bean and rice burrito. Okay, so on it goes. Perfect little size for one person, that's great. So I've got that cranked right up to an 8, I'll take it down to a 7. That's like 3/4. Crepes and tortillas, they cook, you wanna cook them quickly, you wanna puff them through and get them cooked fast. So this is one of the only times that I recommend using a high heat. I don't usually ever cook anything at this kind of a heat, except for really these two things. So we got that one side. I personally don't love to overcook a tortilla shell. I want a little bit of crispiness that we've got just kind of showing here. But I like it to be a little bit squishy and to kind of tear a little bit instead of it being crumbly as I'm eating it. That's my personal preference. Okay, so we've got our toppings on this guy. I'm gonna put on some rice. Got some brown rice that we're gonna get on. And we've got our pinto beans. I'm gonna get on there. And we're gonna wrap that up for our special guest. And there we go. Cooked on the Field Griddle. Did a fantastic job. No cleanup. Everything's looking great. And now we're gonna bring in our special guest and see what he thinks of that. All right, so I've made a simple pinto bean and rice burrito using the Field Griddle to make, hopefully, what is like this man's grandmother's tortilla. So this is my friend Alec. He is our e-commerce manager. If anybody has dealt with us online, you've probably talked to Alec at some point in time. He is from Mexico City. He had grew up eating tortillas, like I grew up eating pancakes, like I showed you before. And so I'm interested to see if I was able to make something that resembles a tortilla in the Field Griddle Pan. So there we go.
I'm excited. it really looks really nice and
Excellent.
tasty.
Okay.
So we'll see. Nothing like eating on camera.
Yeah?
Oh wow. You got the beans right. You got the tortilla is 100% like. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this one and the ones that I grew up eating.
Is it like your grandma's?
Pretty much. Pretty much. The only thing I'm missing is salsa.
Ah, salsa, sorry. I didn't hand pound you some salsa. I'm sorry, my tomato plants just aren't quite ready yet, being February.
Oh my God, this is so good.
Awesome, that is fantastic. So I'd say that's a success. We've had, a pancake that I grew up with. Marie came in and tried a crepe that she said, tasted a lot like a crepe that she would have grown up with. And Alec is eating a simple bean burrito. And so all in all, I would say that we've been able to hit 100% success using the Field Griddle Pan. It's been a tremendous addition to my set of cookware. I don't add a lot of things into my cookware. I try to keep it really simple. I had a Lodge griddle, like a flip griddle grill pan that I thought was totally fine. I'm not 100% sure, but when I started using this, my results increased by 20-25%. I just found the stick release was that much better, and everything that I did just turned out a little bit better. And I love Lodge. I really enjoy the entire brand, so it's not anything negative to Lodge. But there definitely was, anecdotal, of course. This is just a sample of one, me trying it. I find that everything is just giving me better results. And so I was able to hit these 3 different types of cuisine really simply. It was easy to use. I really enjoyed using it. So I highly recommend it. I'm glad that I'm able to make food that my friends enjoy. And so I'm a big fan, and we're really happy to be the Canadian dealer of Field cast iron cookware. So it's available right now. Thanks so much. Any questions, throw them below.